what it is, what it ain't, what it's gonna be. Hey my collective cuties, welcome back to another tutorial presented by the Creatrix Collective. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the My Fae Lady backless romper real cute, real sexy. So we ain't gonna waste no time, let's get right into it. Everything you need is shown here and will also be listed in the details below. I'm starting off with my shoulder to shoulder measurements. I'm going to make a chain of 35 plus 2, and from there I am going to half double crochet my way back down into each space to start off my foundation chain. Once your foundation chain is complete, you are going to half double crochet for 2 more additional rows before you move on to the next stitch. From here, you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and insert 1 triple crochet stitch into each chain space. So the pattern is going to be 3 rows of half double crochet and 1 row of triple crochet. To make your triple crochet, you're going to yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull through 1, 2, and 3. You're going to repeat this process for the entire row. Once again, the pattern for majority of this project is going to be 3 rows of half double crochet stitches followed by 1 row of triple crochet stitches. This is where you should be so far in the project and how it should be looking. From here, you are going to add more length. I continued with the pattern of 3 rows of half double crochets and 1 row of triple crochet before I moved on to the next portion, and in total I had 14 rows once I finished. And at this point I am going to add my waist chain and connect it to the other side. I started with a chain of 35 and I know that my waist equals about 60 to 65 chains with this 8mm hook. So I am going to chain an additional 30 before connecting this chain to the other side of the panel. Once you finish your additional waist chain, you are going to connect that chain to the opposite side of the panel with a slip stitch and chain 2. From here on out, we're going to be working in the round and into that chain that we just created. Remember, the pattern is 3 rows of half double crochet and 1 row of triple crochet. So wherever you end up in the pattern when you're making your waist chain, if you have a longer torso and you need to add more length to your panel, just make sure you're keeping up with the pattern. Since we are working in the round now, once you finish off that row, you are going to be closing with a slip stitch. And this is what the project should be looking like so far. We have our top panel piece, and now we're going to work in the round and work our way down to our shorts. Remember, the pattern is 3 rows of half double crochet and 1 row of triple crochet stitches. Okay, so boom, once you've added about 8 rows, at this point you are going to need to try on the piece, and this will ensure that the shorts fit properly. Once you make sure everything is centered, of course it's not going to cover you entirely. We're going to have to add some more length to the shorts, but you're going to chain directly down the middle of your private area, about 15 to 20 stitches depending on your fit and what's most comfortable for you. And then you're going to turn the piece around and pull the chain back through your legs and connect that chain with a slip stitch directly to the middle. After that, you're going to take the piece off, and this is what it should look like. You're going to have your middle chain, which is going to make the crotch area of your shorts, and 2 holes, which is going to be the leg area. From there, you're going to chain up 2 and continue on with the pattern. I ended with a row of triple crochet, so I am going to go in with my 3 rows of half double crochet, 1 row of triple crochet, and finish off with 3 rows of half double crochet. And when you are making your chain that creates the leg portion of the shorts, be sure to stretch test the yarn. The whole purpose of trying on this project before your bottom area is actually covered is to ensure a proper fit. If that chain is stretched and pulled tight enough, you will prevent a saggy crotch. Nobody wants saggy shorts. And I will also suggest trying on any piece as you make it. Very far and few in between times I've created something and not tried it on and it fits perfectly. I'm not saying I haven't done it, because I have, but 9 times out of 10, if I make something and don't try it on, it's going to be way too small. So try your pieces on as you go. And another thing, the chain that you created that creates the leg hole of your shorts, you are going to be chaining into that on both sides. So keep that in mind when you are making that additional chain. The first chain is going to be fairly easy. When you are creating the second leg hole, it's not super difficult, but you want to make sure you're finding those spaces neatly when you're creating that middle portion of those shorts. Based on the pattern, you are going to add 7 rows before you have enough leg length. If you would like more coverage, of course, you can continue on and add a few more rows. From here, we're going to have to add on our second leg, and it's best to attach your yarn in the same spot where you connected that middle chain. And this is what the project should be looking like at this point. We have our shorts, both of the leg holes are completed, and now we're going to move on to the top portion and add on our sleeves. Okay, now it's time to pull out your stitch markers so that we can mark off where we are going to add our sleeves. I counted down 8 rows and added my stitch marker on the 9th row. If you need a wider sleeve, of course you can go down an additional row or 2 just for that comfortability. We're going to do that on both sides just to make sure everything is even and aligned. Creating the sleeves for this project is very similar to the way that we created the chain for the waist portion when we were making the shorts. I'm going to make my slip knot, attach my yarn, and for my arm width, I am going to half double crochet a total of 27. I would suggest, based on the width of your arm, you make a chain between 27 to 35. Of course, if you have an arm bigger than that, you can go up as your need suits you. Once you make a chain big enough for your arm, you are going to slip stitch and connect that chain back to where you started, where that stitch marker should be. And from this point, it is fairly simple. For the sleeves, we are doing triple crochet the entire way down, so you don't have to keep up with the pattern anymore. We're going to start off with 10 rows of triple crochet stitches before we add in any increases for the fairy bell flare of the sleeve. And just like all the chains we've created and connected, you are going to have to go back into that chain with those triple crochet stitches just to complete the initial round of your sleeve. And as I stated previously, the sleeve portion of this project is very similar to the way that we created the shorts. We've made a connecting chain. From here on out, we are going to be closing our row with a slip stitch and working in the round. We are going to add that desired length. It's going to be about 10 rows total before we move on to adding our increases. And this is what your sleeve should be looking like so far. The reason we are only doing triple crochet stitches on the sleeve is to not overly complicate things when we start adding in our increases. And here's another quick update of how the sleeve should be looking so far. Because we are only doing triple crochet stitches, it's going to work up quickly. Continue adding on your length, and I'll meet you back when it's time to add in those increases. And now that we've added the desired length, we are going to start adding increases to create the fairy flare bell sleeve look that we're going for. In this first row, you're going to start with the chain of 3 and make sure you stitch mark. There will be 1 triple crochet in the next 5 stitches, and into the 6th stitch you're going to add 2 triple crochet. This is going to be the pattern for your first row of increases. 1 treble crochet in 5 stitches, and into the 6th stitch add 2 triple crochet. While I didn't record myself increasing for the entire sleeve, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. The pattern is increase, no increase, increase, no increase, increase, no increase, essentially until you work your way down. After you finish your initial row of increases, there will be no increase in the next row. Chain 3, stitch mark, add 1 triple crochet into the next 4 spaces, and into the 5th space add 2 triple crochet stitches. The next row will have no increases. Chain 3, stitch mark, into the next 3 spaces add 1 triple crochet stitch, and into the 4th space you are going to add 2 triple crochet stitches. The next row will have no increases. Chain 3, into the next 2 spaces add 1 triple crochet stitch, and into the 3rd space add 2 triple crochet stitches. Chain 3, and into each stitch you are going to add 2 triple crochet stitches. This is the last row of increases and the final row of the sleeve. And this is how the sleeve should look. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So everything that we just did to this sleeve, we will be repeating on the second sleeve. It's also important to stitch mark your project as you go, especially when you are increasing, to keep track of your rows. We want to make sure everything is even and aligned because we have to repeat this exact process on the second sleeve. Now that we finished both of our sleeves, we're going to add the finishing touches. You're going to fold your sleeve in half, hot dog style, and stitch mark the middle of the sleeve while you have it folded. Attach your yarn and make a chain of 150 to 200 and repeat that process on the other side of the sleeve. After that, we're going to make our connecting halter chain at the top. Stitch mark both sides. I counted in 5 stitches on each side. Attached my yarn and I made a chain of 50 before I connected that chain to the other stitch marker with a slip stitch. Now that you're done with the finishing touches, at the point where you connected your sleeve, you are going to count down 4 rows and stitch mark on both sides. This is the row where you are going to insert your chain as you crisscross and tie up the back portion of this piece. That's all she wrote. Once you hide your ends, you will have officially completed your My Fae Lady romper. And let's have a little promotion for the project. Thank you so much for following along with this video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let your girl know what's up. I hope this tutorial was easy for you to follow along with. Thank you again for joining me. I have so much more in store for you. The Creatrix Collective signing off.